Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Well, Howie and I are holding down the fort here on the farm. Papa Tex is still in the hospital and supposed to have had his pacemaker installed sometime today. And Blade and Cheyenne are still at the hospital with Rowdy. At 6 o'clock this evening, they're supposed to do an MRI on his brain. They're not saying that there's anything wrong with his brain. They're just saying because he was so sick, they want to continue to check his the different functions of his body, and so they're doing an MRI this evening just to make sure that there's no issues with his brain. Tomorrow they'll do the scan, whatever kind of test it is, on his liver and his gallbladder, just to check and make sure, especially if his numbers are still high. He's not really responding as far as they've got a medication that they've been giving him, and the liver numbers are not going down like they want to see them go down. But we're praying about that, and of course, you never should try to guess what could be wrong. You know, you look on Google and you look on, you know, all of these different sites, and they can tell you the things that could be wrong, and we just simply don't know. It could be that with him being born early, that his liver just needed a little bit longer time to finish forming his bile ducts and all the functions that go along with the gallbladder. It could be just something with the infection being so bad that it's going to take a little bit of time to get all of that filtered out. He is still on antibiotic. He's on day 16 of a 21-day antibiotic that they gave him. And it could be that his little body is just working really hard to get all of that out of there. We haven't resigned ourselves to anything. We are expecting a complete healing and a miracle in his body. He's already come so far. He is now just breathing on his own. There's no, they don't have any kind of room air, oxygen going to him. He's doing it all himself. He does have a little feeding tube that's still in his nose. And then he's getting his antibiotic, the medication for his liver, and they're just, you know, checking all of his different functions. And so we are holding on to that, and we still want to say that we appreciate all of your help in praying for him and lifting him and the family up. You're so kind to us. Today I have been cooking. I've got chicken going in the crock pot, a Mississippi. Everybody makes the Mississippi roast, and you can use the same exact recipe for roast, for chicken, and for pork. And today I put some chicken in the crock pot, and we'll have whoever wants to eat supper will be able to have that, and some mashed potatoes and some other things to go with it. And so I've been doing that. And other than that, Howie and I have been just taking care of each other and sneezing our heads off. I think we both are have run into the allergies of the season. This is by far my favorite time of the year. I love fall, but with it comes allergies, and so I'm sneezy and a little bit. You'll probably be able to hear it. I'm sorry that I'm all stopped up. I feel fine. I'm just, you know, kind of got a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on that, making sure that I don't run any fevers or anything like that, me or Howie, either one, so that the kids, Blade and Cheyenne, don't, you know, if it's just allergy, they won't catch something that they can, and then in turn take to the hospital with them. So we're trying to be really careful about all of that. It's been a crazy, crazy week, hasn't it, with all of the stuff that's been going on. Of course, we observed 9/11, and we've witnessed history in the making here with the passing of the Queen over in Britain. And you know, a lot of people are you can read comments and all of the things on all the different stories they've got out, and people, you know, they're either really are giving their sincere condolences, or they are saying, you know, some even kind of nasty things. And you know, here in the United States, you know, we're thankful that we have our freedom. We fought for it a long, long time ago, and we enjoy that freedom. But I am a lover of history, and we are definitely living in a historical time now. It's been a long time coming. She served her country for years and years and years, and whether you agree with the things she did or you don't agree with the things she did, this is history in the making, and we are definitely going to be able, going forward, to tell our kids, Howie and Rowdy, about how, people reacted to all of that. Just like Blade Ryan and Cheyenne, they were too young to remember 9/11. And, every year we have all of these things, the stories that come out, and remembrances, and all of the backstories, and they go through all of the different things that happened on that day. And to them, it's kind of really hard, and others that are their age and younger, it's really hard to understand just exactly how it was on that day. But that day and the day that the Challenger exploded are 2 days in history that I will never forget. I can tell you exactly where I was at when I heard the news. Now, we all remember family things, but these are big world events. And I remember I was in high school when the Challenger blew up, and I was at my locker at lunchtime and heard it in one of the teachers' classrooms come over her television that had happened. And with 9/11, I was at work. I worked for Walmart in the home office, and things got to happen. I was actually on the phone with Howie. He had called me that morning. He didn't go to work until a little bit later than I did. I was on the phone with him, and he was telling me that there had been an airplane that they thought had hit one of the towers. And at that time, they didn't know, they were still saying that it was a small plane. And Howie was saying, and he was kind of just, we were just visiting. And he was just sharing with me what he had heard on the news. He was watching his favorite news channel. And as we were talking, the other plane hit, and things just started happening. And so we got off the phone, and I went immediately to my people that were over me and told them what I had heard, that I heard it from Howie. And then, they come over the intercom, and they started making some decisions about things. And you know what I saw that day? Thankfully, I had went, that was on the night before, I had went and got gas in my car. And I filled it totally up, so I didn't need any gas. But I worked with people that had been through other things, I guess, in their lifetimes, and they kind of just, that was immediately what they thought about. That wasn't the first thing I thought of, and maybe it was because I didn't need gas. But people left and clocked out, went to get gas, and come back. And one of my really good friends there, she went and got gas, and she come back and she said, "You won't believe it." She said, "There's just lines and lines of people at the gas stations, all the gas stations, to get gas, and they're angry at each other, and they're honking, and they're shaking their fists, and just acting really, really ugly." And I couldn't believe it, that people, because I had never seen that before. I'd never experienced it. The gas lines that happened in the 70s, I was a little bitty child. And so I don't remember what it was like then, but others did. So I had never experienced that before. So I think about all of the things that we hear today, all of the news stories, all of the, besides all of that's happening in Great Britain, and all of the, it looks like now we might have kept the railroad thing from happening, the strike, hopefully. But there are so many things that just, we're kind of like a chair that's tipping. And, as it goes, it tips further and further back, and there's warnings. The teacher's saying, put all 4 legs of that chair down on the floor. And I have never taught elementary school. I'm not educated in that, but I have taught a lot of in church, in Sunday school, and Wednesday nights, and all kinds of special services for kids, and Now I teach the adults, and I don't have to tell the adults so far to put the feet of the chair down on the floor, but I have had to tell a lot of kids that. And it's because we know the danger that you tip the chair so far back and you've got control of that chair, but you tip it just a fraction of an inch more and you have no control and it just tips. And it seems like that's what's going on here in the US and around the world. There's all kinds of things, and it seems like every day we get up and we're bombarded with something else that's happening, and somebody else is telling us, hey, this is going on, I just need you to be aware. And I'm thankful that there are people that are telling us those things, that they're encouraging us to do everything that we can to prepare. I told you on the last video that I'm thankful that I have a well-stocked pantry of lots of items. I do have some things that I feel like I'm a little bit weak on. Just not too long ago, I felt a little stronger about that, but I had one of my freezers went out. I think you guys that's been with me long enough will remember that. And so some of the things that were in that freezer I need to replace. And so I still have work to do, as well as some of you probably have more work to do, to make sure that you just have the things that will give you a little bit more peace of mind, and you don't have to worry about those. Take those things completely off the table so that in a time of crisis, you know, maybe it's a family personal crisis like what we have had, or like some of you have had, a personal family crisis, and the small things are off the table because they've been taken care of. And Howie, bring me that. Bring me that. Bring it to me, Ma. Bring it to me, Ma. My wild guy's got a spoon. Bring me that. No, that's what you do with it, but bring it to me, Ma. Sorry about that. I had to carouse. I had to have a talk with the grandson. So anyway, if we can take those small little things off of our plate, off of our worry plate, so to speak, and be able to concentrate when things go south, if they do for you at any time, in any time of our life. They can, you know, upset the apple cart, so to speak. And as many things as possible that you can just get taken care of now, the better off that you'll be. You know, in a time of craziness, especially if it's worldwide or nationwide, and it can be crazy, 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 the less that you have to be out in the middle of everybody else that's feeling that same conflict and that same pull and that same panic, the better off you'll be. Now, I grew a really big garden this year, and it's had its challenges. It started off early in January, starting seeds and making plans, and then it turned off rainy, and I couldn't get out in the garden. Couldn't get the equipment out there to break the garden up and to get the ground cover down, and so I started late. Things started going pretty good, and then what happened, it turned off into a drought, and then we had a water leak, and we've had all kinds of things. But no matter what we have, no matter what we face, we have to keep moving. I thought about that today when I was thinking about the garden and the produce I have in there, and I thought, you know, I had such high hopes for just an overabundance of produce in the garden. I have beautiful tomato plants, but they have not produced like an overabundance. And at first I questioned that. I was like, I've done all this. I've done everything that I could possibly do. But you know what? Those tomatoes would have went to waste had they come on in a big, huge crop in the last 3 weeks of our life. Because at first, when Rowdy was born and we had to go to Tulsa, there were people here. And then Papa Tex had to have surgery, and now he's back having another surgery. And we've had people come in, but we wouldn't have had the people, or even people to work the garden produce up. It would have went to waste. So we never know why things happen the way they do, and we just have to take it and move on from it and do our best. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to get a pretty good fall crop. Now, it won't be anything like what I would have had through the summer, but it'll be tomatoes to put up, and it'll be green tomatoes. This fall went right before the frost, and I can make green tomato relish for beans for this winter. I have a humongous pepper harvest getting ready to come off, and so I'll be able to put peppers up for we'll be able to put up I'll be able to put up bell peppers, and I'll be able to put up jalapenos and jalapenos, and I've got banana peppers that I can make pepper juice. All those things are coming just here in the next few days. We'll be able to get out there and get those things. My pears, all of that stuff I'll be having for you. Just bear with us. I know I keep saying that, and you guys keep bearing with us, but we are thankful for that. Now, the other thing I want to encourage you guys to do is continue to prepare for your families. Continue to get the things that your family enjoys, the things that your family will eat. Make sure that you're checking into your, be careful, baby. Make sure that you're checking into your medications. I've got some honey and garlic to make. Some of you have seen Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and she made some honey and garlic. I've got some honey and garlic I'm going to make. I've got my elderberries that need to be processed, and we've got some fire cider to make. We just have a whole lot of things that are coming up, and if me and Howie can quit sneezing, we'll get in the kitchen, and he might be in his high chair or his walker, so I can keep control of him, and we'll get some projects done. I want to encourage your hearts that you don't give up, that you don't just sit down on the sidelines and say the news is too bad and here comes something else, and we just quit. There's nowhere for us to quit. We have to keep moving forward. We need to keep doing our part. Who knows, what's coming. Thankfully, the railroad strike looks like it's been averted. They were talking like that was going to be a big mess. I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward. We've got things coming, holidays, and this year the holidays might look different for a whole lot of us. It may not be a holiday that you can go out and spend hundreds of dollars and charge up your credit cards and do all those things. I'm not in my family. I've got these two beautiful grandsons, and Rowdy, of course, is an infant. Baby Howie, he is real easy to please right now, and I think about those before us and the things that they did and the homemade things that they made, and a lot of people are probably going to get homemade from me. A lot of people are probably going to get homemade items from me this year, just simply because that's what I have to offer. And I like getting homemade items too. So I'm going to do the best I can. Now, I've been crocheting. You can probably see that behind me. I'm making Rowdy a blanket. But when Howie's here, I can't, because he gets after my ball of yarn and he thinks it's his ball. I was down to just a little bitty bit yesterday, and I tugged it to crochet and it wouldn't move. I looked down and he had the ball of yarn in his mouth, and so I had to put the crocheting up until either he's taking a nap or he's not here. I'll say this and close. The last few days I've seen a couple of commercials. One was on television. I've seen it several times, and the other one was on Facebook, I believe. The first one was a commercial for flu vaccination, and it shows this wolf that has on a pelt from a sheep. And he's coming through there, and kind of like he's sneaking through, and people are getting sick all along. And then, and it's of course advertising a flu vaccination. And then the other commercial that I saw, I guess it was a Facebook commercial, was a wolf, and it might have been somebody's quote, that had lipstick on and eyeshadow on, and it made a comment about they just wanted to read to the kids. And I would say that there's probably a whole lot of that's going on today, that there are those that are out to deceive and they are presenting themselves in a loving and peaceful way. And when the truth really comes out, they're really out to do harm. Now, we don't have to wring our hands and be fearful of all that. We just have to know what's the truth of the matter and what's going on. And we have to know where we stand and what we believe in. And so don't be fooled by those things that come to us in sheep's clothing. Don't be deceived by them saying everything is okay. Look over here instead of right here what's in front of us. And we have a whole lot of that. It seems like every time that people really begin to focus again on what issues are, something over here goes on and our minds direct towards that. There's a whole lot of squirrel chasing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A whole lot of people jumping down rabbit holes and chasing after things that they can't quite grasp. And we need to stay focused. Stay focused on your families and preparing for them. Stay focused on loving them, nurturing them, and focus on looking well to the ways of your household, whatever that might be. That might be food storage and pantry storage. That might be making sure that your farm is taken care of, or right there, if you live in the city, it might be making sure that you get your kids safely from point A to point B. All of those kind of things. Just be aware of your surroundings and look out for those wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay, guys, this is Josie and Howie. And until next time, I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. Until next time, we're gone.